Well, one, that alcoholism is a disease,
Okay.
and that it's a family disease.
Alcoholism is a disease.
Yeah.
We can discuss that as belief. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Does that
let's do
work?
it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because I feel like maybe that's more of a fact, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Let's
or
find
not.
out together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going on this journey together. We're going to
Yeah,
find out.
that's good. Okay.
Yes. So alcoholism is a disease.
Yeah.
By alcoholism, what do we mean?
Well, that's interesting because I don't identify as an alcoholic, but I grew up in an alcoholic family, or that's what I think. And so I think the alcoholics that I've talked to would say that it's anybody who cannot easily stop drinking. The one drink and that's it. They're going to keep going. And so they also they're not really making the decision whether or not they're going to drink. It's not really a choice. It's like,
It's a compulsion. Once you start drinking, you can't stop.
right. And that might be over the course of days or weeks or months or years, or maybe that's in a single, sit down to have one drink is not really something that they can do without a lot of
Once
pain.
the button turns on, you just can't
It's
be
a
flipped
switch.
back off.
Yes, my brother refers to it as an allergy, but I'm not an alcoholic, so I don't know. I just know the family part because I'm in the family.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Now I understand what you mean by alcoholism. And what do we mean by disease?
Well, I guess I think of disease, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what the definition of disease is, but I think of a disease as any kind of imbalance in the body that is trying to take you down.
A disease is an imbalance in the body that's trying to take you down.
Yeah, its job is to kill you.
Okay, so let's. So a disease. No, I'm going to try to understand.
I don't know
your
if that's true or not, but that's how I think of it.
Well, and what's more important is I really want to understand your definition.
Yeah.
So a disease is something in your body that's trying to take you down.
Yeah.
Kill
Or
you
an
or
imbalance.
take you down.
An imbalance.
Or imbalance that's trying to take
Yes.
you down.
Yeah, so like what is an example of a disease would be like cancer or any disease, it's designed, it's an imbalance in such a way that it's
Is lactose intolerance a disease?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking. I want to know.
It probably feels like it's trying to take you down at times.
Trying to take me down.
Like every ice cream is like a slippery slope of take you down to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what you mean by
Yeah,
take you down.
it's very hard to speak in absolutes. I don't know. And I know that doctors have a hard time speaking absolutes when it comes to disease because some people live a very long time with disease, and including alcoholism. It's like you can live your whole life with alcoholism, and maybe you die falling off the curb and hitting your head, but you were drunk when it happened. So you could have died from your disease.
So let's just. I'm just trying to think of a working definition for disease, just so I understand, so we can both talk about the same thing.
Should I look it up?
No.
Okay.
Well, if you want to.
No, I mean.
But up to you. But just so it's an imbalance it's just where. Once you have this imbalance, you're worse off in some way than where you were before you had this imbalance or change.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's an imbalance that leans not towards health.
Gotcha. That's a good way to put it. Imbalance leading not towards health. Okay. On a scale, let's say from 1 to 7.
Yeah.
How confidently do you believe that this is true, your belief?
Oh, 7.
And on a scale from 1 to 7, how important is it for you to believe in true things that are true and real?
Oh, pretty important. I'd say 7.
How do you know your belief is true?
Yeah, I guess. I never know. Okay. I never know. I mean, I always think I'm right, but I'm always open to being wrong. And if I find, like when you die, somebody comes and tells you all the answers to the things you ever wondered. And if they're like, oh, by the way, actually alcoholism is not a disease. I'd be like, oh, that's weird. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be devastated, but it does feel very true to me in my experience.
Okay. So you're at a 7, but then you're saying, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You're at a 7 in
It's
confidence.
super important to me. Yes, I'm very confident.
You're confident it's true at a 7, and then you're also saying that...
I could be wrong.
Right. So it's...
Because confidence doesn't... I mean, we were confident of a lot of things 200 years ago that
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, confidence doesn't get you to truth.
It's a very good point. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I guess I'm really trying to understand. You're confident at a 7. It's important to believe in true things at a 7.
Yeah.
And you're saying that, yeah, I might not be right.
Well, I'm saying that there's always the chance that we're wrong.
Right. Okay.
And that's okay.
Okay. Well, how do you know what you know?
How do I know what I know?
How do you know that it's true at a 7?
Well, I think it's true at a 7 because I've experienced the imbalance of alcoholism as a disease in my family and on the people that I know and love. And I've watched it take over. Am I allowed to swear? No. Are you sure?
Swear away.
My brother says that alcoholism is like Satan has his hand up your ass and he's using you like a puppet.
It's very descriptive, and it makes it. I think it drives home what it's like. So. Yeah.
I mean, that's watching my brother be an alcoholic
Yeah.
and then watching him be in recovery are like different people.
Yeah. Right. And I think we've all known people like that.
Yeah.
I guess what you're saying is how you know confidently what you know.
Through observation.
Yeah. And so let's say Tammy's sitting next to you, and Tammy, for whatever reason, she hasn't had that experience.
Yeah.
She's had a different family.
Right.
It's not in her family.
Right.
And so she doesn't believe the belief.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
So is her belief true?
It doesn't really matter to me what Tammy believes.
Is it true objectively? Like, are we saying that
objective.
alcoholism is a disease?
Yes.
Objectively, are we saying whether you believe it or not, or whether Tammy believes it or not,
Yeah.
it's just a true belief?
Yeah, I would say so.
So she says it's not true because
Yeah.
she hasn't had the experience,
Yeah.
and she knows things the same way you know things.
Yeah, sure.
How would I know?
I guess the only thing I can do is speak through my experience. And I could just say that I used to be like Tammy and be like, well, why don't they just stop? Like, what's the big deal? What's the problem? And I think, yeah, from the outside it might seem that way. But I think if you know someone who's been touched by alcoholism and you still believe that, then I don't know what to say to you. Like, I don't know what to do to convince you of an
Yeah.
objective truth that you can't observe.
So if Tammy says alcoholism's not real, sure, people drink too much, whatever, it's not my family, I can
Yeah.
drink, I can stop, my parents can drink, they can stop,
Right.
and you may not believe it, but it's the objective truth. And you don't have to believe it if you don't want to, but it's true. And that's what Tammy says. I'm not saying.
Okay.
That's what Tammy says.
Yeah.
Me as a third person,
Yeah.
how could I find out what's true and real? Where I should align my
Oh, I don't
beliefs
know.
towards?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that. Is that something you struggle with?
Sometimes.
Is that what this podcast is about?
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is maybe ask the question this way.
Yeah.
Is personal experience,
Yes.
is that a reliable way, in this
Oh.
case, to know what is objectively true?
Well, I think the personal experience for me is enough for me. But in the case of alcoholism, luckily, well, not so luckily, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of other people's personal experience. And they have come together to form a collective known as AA. And so through this fellowship, they have figured out,
So a lot of people's personal experiences, I get it.
have come together to be like, hey, you know what I noticed? I
Right.
am super focused on myself and pretty selfish, and I really only want to get drinking done. And
Yeah, and I could
like
just-
they like came up with the system
Right.
based on their personal experiences. It took them a long time, and it was a lot of
Yeah, I could just
Struggle.
I can see where Tammy joins a group of people who aren't alcoholics, and there are more people, you know, than
believe what she believes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we'd be at the same place.
Yeah,
And let me ask you this:
yeah,
if the personal experiences weren't available to you,
yeah.
what would be the second best way for you to know what you know?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, what do we have besides other people's experience and our own experience?
Great question. How could we know things?
without being shared, without our shared experience.
Can we know things that we haven't experienced?
Right. And
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, yeah, and I guess like I try to know as much as I can about the experience of alcoholics so I can like provide support and encouragement to people who, you know, are in my family, and I can have good experiences, you know, good relationships with them.
And I don't want to make it sound like I'm discounting your
No,
experiences.
no.
Just
I'm not
wanna
taking
make
offense,
sure.
but I'm trying to like unravel it.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But I mean that as a serious question. How can we know things?
Yeah.
How do we know things that we haven't directly experienced? Or can we know things that we have not directly experienced?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, if you don't have a personal experience and you have to trust the person who's telling you these stories.
For example, let's say I have not personally experienced that. Do you believe the earth is round?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So, let's say I haven't personally experienced that the earth is round. I haven't personally experienced it because it looks flat to me, kind of.
Yeah,
when I look out my window, it
you
looks
never
flat.
went up into a plane.
I haven't been on a plane. Let's just say I haven't left Hillsborough, and this kind of looks flat to me. And that's my personal experience.
Yeah.
Let's assume, just for the sake of argument, I'm wrong. The earth is round.
Yeah.
How is personal experience
Yeah.
a reliable way in that situation?
No.
So
Absolutely not.
what would you suggest a better way for me to know how to know something that
That's different from what you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing you have is stories from people who are like, hey, look, I learned this thing about science and I have a story to tell you about.
So you're saying science?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if somebody has a personal experience related to science that they can share with this person and
Could
say
you have science without the personal experience?
how the person needs to interpret it. So usually there's a person to like help them understand it, like a teacher.
But you just have the science?
You could, but that person would have to figure out the science on their own, wouldn't they?
Well,
And are they going to accidentally do that?
does science need the interpretation for it to be true?
It can be empirically, is that the word?
Yeah.
It can be empirically true, but in order for someone to take that information in,
You need someone's personal experience?
I think you need somebody to explain it to you and tell you. Either they write it in a book or they interpret it. Otherwise, it's just.
Okay.
Otherwise they have to just come across this anomaly, or they have to find the
I see what you're
experiment.
saying.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think so.
on their own.
Yeah. Well, let's say
How are they going to do it on their own? They read it.
they may or may not. Yeah.
They got to read it in a book. Somebody had to write it. Somebody had to decide how to explain it. Somebody had to draw a little picture.
Let's say they read it in a book.
Yeah.
So, are we saying that's not personal experience, or that is personal experience?
I'm saying that is.
If they read it in a book, that's personal
Well,
experience.
because that person is telling a story about how science works. They're like, they're being a teacher at that point.
What if somebody read just the scientific study,
Somebody wrote that study.
and that's personal experience?
Well, yeah, they conducted an experiment. And then they're telling the study, writing it out is a storytelling, so that somebody else can reproduce it.
Okay, I think I got it. Good. So personal experience.
I'm really not doing this right.
No, you're doing this. I'm not doing it right. Personal experience, I think the way I'm seeing personal experience, and I could be seeing it wrong or incorrectly, is that personal experience I see as a subjective thing that is person dependent.
Yeah.
And when I think of like scientific study, I think of something objective that doesn't.
But no.
Okay, go ahead.
Science is always being messed up by people, humans. They do a study, it turns out this way. They do the study again, it turns out this other way. Oh, it turned out you lied.
So science has biases.
Yeah.
And because science has biases, it's subjective.
Well, yeah, because it's part of the human, it's part of our stories, part of our telling, part of our interpretation of what's happening here.
Okay, so if I were to run a study about alcoholism,
Yeah.
and whether it's a disease,
Yeah.
do you think that it would be possible to run a study to your satisfaction that would root out biases and subjectivity in that sense?
Maybe.
If,
Yeah. I'm open to it.
just not saying this case, but
Yeah.
if that study could be run,
Right. Like, what if we found a gene or something?
what if? Yes,
Yeah.
a gene, and the study was run that we ruled out all the biases that humans, we're confident that the humans weren't influencing the outcome.
Yeah.
At that point,
Yeah.
and I'm not giving you the answer, I want to know what you think. Would
Yeah.
you rather have the objective science at that point, or would you rather have the subjective personal experience? What would be more powerful for you?
I think the personal experience makes things real. So I think that, I mean, I am moved by scientific studies and information. I also know that, yeah, it's all subjective anyway. So yeah, I don't know if there is an objective truth, but I feel like I'm going down this slippery.
Oh no, this helps me. You don't know if there's an objective truth.
Right. And when it comes to science, like, I feel like interpreting, humans are subjective.
Is there such a thing as objective truth?
I guess that's what it seems like you want to know.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I want to see, I'd like to know how you see the world.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about objective truth. Feels a little harsh to me, but I guess so. Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm open to it.
Okay.
I'm also like, facts are great, and also facts are written by humans and interpreted and created by humans.
So facts are created by humans.
Yes.
Facts aren't out there. We create them.
Yeah, I don't think well, maybe they do exist. I mean,
I'm going to go ahead and do my little Mentos test.
Yeah.
So I
What's the
understand.
Mentos thing?
My breath is really not fresh.
Are they,
SE brought to you by Mentos.
Are they sponsoring this conversation?
I don't think so. I really don't.
They're
think
like,
so.
please
They
don't
might
talk
be,
about it.
Might be horrified. Okay.
I feel like I'm going down, like, this is why I wasn't good in philosophy class.
No, it's a pretty straightforward explanation.
Yeah.
Mentos,
Yeah.
the breath freshener.
Yeah.
Let's say there's either an even or odd number of Mentos in this
Oh,
box.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
I assume you don't know what the answer is.
No.
Can we say that there's an answer?
Yeah, there's an answer.
Objective answer that doesn't matter what we believe?
Yeah, correct.
But there's some fact there.
Yeah, there's some fact there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could it be said that there are facts out there
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
aren't
we can say
person dependent?
that. I can use the Mentos to simplify life to get down to yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we saying that facts are out there? There's some facts out there
There are some facts out there.
that don't matter what we
Yes.
believe about it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I can see that.
And could that even be a definition of a fact that is not person
Yeah.
dependent?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, finally something we can.
No, this is no. Yeah. And look, the way you're seeing this belief, if I'm telling you, if it seems to be a personally speaking, the way I see it, if it seems to align more to what is true,
Yeah.
I'd like to follow you on how you're seeing
Yes,
it. So,
I know
yeah.
it's very hard to. I shouldn't have been chosen for this conversation because my favorite bumper sticker in the world is "I don't know and you don't know either."
Right. So
And it's like we don't know what the truth is of that number in that box. You know,
Okay.
we could count them.
we could count them.
We could.
So we're saying that there's an answer. We might not know the answer.
We might not know the answer,
But-
and being okay with not knowing the answer is something I've
There's
gotten
the
very
answer, we
comfortable
might not know
with.
what the answer
Yeah,
is.
I'm okay with that.
At the beginning of the conversation, I asked how confident you are in your belief, and you said a 7.
In that one thing.
Are you still a 7?
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe 6.5. We'll leave room for the maybe not.
6.5.
Yeah.
All right. And I assume, I'm not going to assume, are you still at a 7, and how important you want to believe in true things?
Yeah.
How do you think this conversation went?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. How was it for you?
I think it went pretty well.
Oh,
actually.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a weird conversation.
It's good.
But yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, being open to my whatever that I brought up. So.